the sweeping intensity of this election night from the high turnout we're seeing, which reflects apparently, as you say, by the way, a big youth turnout that shifted more towards the Democrats than other groups. The women's we talked about. Yep. And then just the general awareness that democracy for many people does seem to be tested right now. We have some scenes from election night. Let's take a look.
Why did Dr. Oz lose? Well, it looks like, according to the exit polling, it's because Fetterman won.
We stood as a citadel of freedom for people across this country.
DeSantis is boring Trump. He's boring Trump.
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all, okay?
What an amazing night and what an improbable journey.
As much horseman there is in this room, there must be a pony at the bottom of it.
We made clear that democracy was on the ballot.
Big picture, Michael, at a time when so many people are engaged, and this is another referendum on what kind of country we want. I have more later in the program about why I want to share my view with the viewers that a big part of what has been rejected is MAGA-style attacks on our democracy, which itself is a nonpartisan victory. It's a nonpartisan celebration of democracy to say, clear out some of those people and some of the races we're still following. I'm curious what else you feel comes through on what was really an unusual midterms.
Well, all the things you mentioned in terms of candidates, Democrats who ran on a strong pro-choice platform won. States that had abortion on the ballot, and I can't believe there's only 5 states. I would have got this on every ballot in America, red state, blue state, because not only did Michigan and California and Vermont make abortion part of the Constitution on Tuesday, so did Kentucky and Montana vote on this in the sort of an opposite way, saying we don't want the government saying what women can do. Kentucky, in the summer, Kansas, Democrats have got to quit being wimps and fight on these issues. Don't be behind the American people, be ahead of the curve.
Do you think Democrats get too psyched out?
Yes, they get afraid. They clutch the pearls. They're like, be careful what you, and they're like, this is what you got to admire about the Republicans, is they have the courage of their convictions. They say exactly what they think. Carrie Lake yesterday, when they asked her, was she going to complete her term because she might run with Trump? She said, complete the term. I'm completing 2 terms. She says right to the camera, she goes, that's 8 years, Arizonans, of your worst nightmare. Quote, your worst nightmare. Wow. Let me tell you, I come from, to quote Bob Dylan, I come from a country they call the Midwest. And out there in that part of America, where Michigan yesterday took over the state house, the state senate, and the governor's chair for the first time in 40 years, the trifecta. Yeah. Same thing happened in Minnesota on Tuesday.
Well,
Michael, people don't Dylan, like this.
Did Dylan say, the D.C. pollsters, they all probably lied, the newspapers, they just went along for the ride?
Let me tell you, our congressman, our congressman from Flint, Michigan, he told me last night, he said, man, I got so riled up the last few weeks because the polls were saying I was barely 3 points ahead. He's the incumbent from Flint. Yeah. And he's just barely 3 points ahead. He wins by over 11 points. He goes, we got to stop listening to this stuff. We got to stop. And the people watching this, and Ari, I had to turn the TV off the last couple of weeks because
I hear that
it was just nonstop. Red wave, Republicans are going to win. And every day I posted a blog that provided facts as to why the Republicans.
Your midterm post. Yeah, I saw your newsletter. By the way, Michael, because you're a showbiz guy. When you turn off the TV, that means I get a break. I don't have to keep doing the show. If you turn it off, I could just rest.
Well, I will go on MSNBC and look for the highlights because your highlights are usually pretty good and funny. Not many lawyers are funny. So you already, and look, and you went to Michigan for 4 years. So you know what I'm talking about in the part of our country where there's a lack of pretension, where people, the students at Ann Arbor, on Tuesday stood in line for 4 hours. Young people. They did the same thing at Michigan State in East Lansing. And all during the night, the cable networks had that whole area in red that Alyssa Slotkin was going to lose and all that. And I said to Dan, my congressman friend from Flint, why do they keep saying that Alyssa Slotkin's going to lose? He says, I know. He says, nobody's told them the votes from East Lansing are not in yet. The votes
and we gotta
from
wait,
Lansing.
and we got to count. I'll make you a deal because I'd love to have you back. You were here a week ago. Open invite next week if you want to come back. Hey, I'm Ari Melber. Thanks for watching The Beat. I wanted to let you know I'm writing a foreword to the January 6th committee's full report, which is coming out soon from HarperCollins. You can go pre-order the book right now, and it'll come to you first when the report comes out in the fall or whenever the government releases it. Just search Melber Jan 6 on Amazon or your favorite independent book site and click pre-order. You'll be the first to get both the report and my new piece on the coup conspiracy. You can also go to melberbook.com and order it there.